Welcome to the You on the Camino de Santiago podcast. This podcast is for and about first-time pilgrims walking the pilgrimage routes in Spain, France, and Portugal. With your host, guide and longtime pilgrim, Nancy Reynolds of the Camino Experience. It happens every so often that I get an email from someone who would like to be on the podcast, but they are leaving for the Camino within a week. Usually when that happens, I am also just days away from heading to the Camino, and I sigh in disappointment and write back that I can't make it work. But this time, the timing was perfect. Hi, this is Nancy. And I talked to this week's guests just days before they boarded their flight to Madrid. They are Lisa and Abhay, and I just heard from them yesterday saying that they are having an amazing time. Better than that, Lisa shared that the experience is even more than she expected. Lisa and Abhay are used to taking on big challenges and moving fast. So the Camino is giving them a chance to slow down and savor this shared experience. You are going to hear Lisa's philosophy on miracles and Abhay's thoughts on how to cope when things don't go exactly as planned. We will meet them in just a moment, but first, I wanted to let you know that I will be opening registration in La Terraza, our new pilgrim community, exclusively for people who have already walked the Camino on Tuesday, November 4th, 2025. That's 1 week from when this episode releases. If you have recently returned from walking the Camino, this timing is perfect for you. You will be able to jump right into the rich collection of audio sessions that are focused entirely on bringing your Camino experience home into your daily life. It's like taking this podcast to the next level by targeting specifically what pilgrims deal with when they leave the trail. The huge sense of loss from leaving behind your Camino family or friends. The loss of your beloved, simple pilgrim lifestyle. The discovery that very few people at home want to hear the details of your journey that you're reliving in your mind. And the rude awakening when you realize firsthand that real life at home doesn't look or feel at all like real life on the Camino. In La Terraza, you will find pilgrims just like you who cherish their time on the Camino and love to talk about it. And perhaps more importantly, they love to hear other pilgrims' stories. We also have some workshops coming up within the community in November and January. And we have just launched the La Terraza Book Club, and we'll be reading and discussing a book I have talked about a lot on this podcast, The Art of Pilgrimage by Phil Cousineau. Lots going on and more to come. I will share more information with you next week when I release the conversation I had with Kathy Kay, our January workshop leader. For now, though, let's go ahead and meet Lisa and Abhay. All right. Well, hello and welcome. I've got Lisa and Abhay here with me today. Hi, guys.
Hello.
Glad that you could join me. We've got an interesting story to tell, and we've got two people who are getting very close to their departure date to go walk the Camino. So let's get some facts out here. Who would like to put the pin in the map for us? Tell us what your plans are.
Well, I could start with in terms of our plans. We are going to be flying into Madrid. We're going to spend about 3 days or so, 3.5 days in Madrid. And then we're planning to take the train and may even stop along the way for some sightseeing and get to Sarria. And then we will be starting our 5-day hike, which is approximately 115 kilometers.
Yeah.
And then we will end up in Santiago de Compostela, And then we plan to spend a couple of days there and then take the train back to Madrid and then fly back to the Detroit area.
Fantastic. Okay, so I got to ask, what made you decide to do that part of the trail and take that amount of time?
Well, I'll let Lisa go first.
I think a big part of it was I'm still working. So
Okay.
I only, limited amount of time that I can take off from work. And Abhay is retired, so he has a little bit more freedom. But looking at it, and we thought, well, this way it gives us the time to be there, get acclimated a little bit, and still feel able like we've accomplished something. And our thought also is that we'll see how it goes, and maybe we come back and we do further, or we do a different one of the different routes.
Okay, very good. And what is it that's calling you to walk the Camino?
Yeah, it's been, for me, it's been something that I've had an interest in for a long time, and part of it is I didn't really even know why. So actually, then earlier this year, when Abhay was wanting to plan a trip together, and he suggested, well, I know you've always talked about the Camino. Why not? Let's do it. And we're like, talked about it, and then let's do it. Let's do it. So that's kind of why now. And then starting to think about it more, I do this endurance running. I do the long over marathon distance running, and it really has come to me that I think a lot of when we do those events, it's like a pilgrimage of sort.
Mm.
The idea of going on a route that people have been drawn to for over 1,000 years, it is very emotional feeling. It's like epitome of what I'm doing air quotes, sport is, but in a very real symbolic way. So that's kind of what's called. And then to be able to do it together as a couple.
Well, now we got to back up a second because you just very casually dropped in that you do endurance running. And so, how about we take a few moments and explain what that means? Because this is not something that everybody does. And when I read your email that said, hey, I'd be interested in being on the podcast, I was like, okay, wait a minute. This is a world, A, I know nothing about, and B, I couldn't physically participate in because I have knee issues. So let's back this up a little bit. And how about tell us about the world of endurance running and what that means?
Yeah, and both Abhay does endurance running too, and he also does the endurance motorcycle.
Oh,
Also another endurance sport.
all right, we're going to get to that too. Let's start with the running and then Abhay, you're next.
All right.
Yeah, I started running after I turned 40, and because I had weighed, I was over 220 pounds and turning 40, and I started just walking, eating better. Over a couple of years, people talked me into doing part of a relay, and that kind of got me hooked on, wow, this feels really good. And did a half marathon, and then did a marathon, and had friends who were training for this crazy 50-mile race. And so I would go out on training runs, and they said, if you can do this, you're fine. You can do the 50-mile with me. So it was $5 more to do 50 miles instead of a marathon. So,
Okay, I'm thinking they should pay me more to do it rather than me pay them to do it. Okay, so I want to pause for just a moment. You didn't even start this until you were 40.
yeah, really 42.
42. Do you mind saying how old you are?
I'm 62.
And you look amazing. You look like the picture of health. And
Yeah.
so I just,
I would agree.
what's that?
I said I would
Yeah.
agree.
And so I just want to put this in context. So 42 to 62, how many of these long distance runs have you done?
Well, the ones that like I have official finishes on, marathons or longer is, I think, 94.
94.
Probably, and more than half of them are over a marathon distance. But
Wow. Does that seem incredible to you? Are you as taken by this as I am? I mean, the only thing I've done 94 times in the last 20 years is brush my teeth. So
I
this is pretty impressive, I have to say.
thank you. But I mean, and Apay and I have talked about how we're, we were in these communities of outliers, right? People who do these things. So to us, because there's more, there are people who do 240-mile races, at one time, they're going for 5 days, that they maybe nap a little bit here and there, but so there's more, there's always more out there. But for me, it's always been just very empowering. After I did my first half marathon, my mom had just passed, and it was like, I held my mom's hand while she was passing, and now I've done this half marathon, and it's like you can do hard things, and
Yes.
very empowering.
Yes. Yes.
Mhm.
And you just recently did something really big. You want to talk a little bit about that, and then we're getting to the motorcycle racing or endurance.
It was an inaugural event that went across the top of the lower peninsula of Michigan. There was 100-mile race. I did the 100K version of it, so the short version.
Short version, which is a little shorter than what you're going to walk on the Camino.
Yeah.
Perspective. Okay.
And there were a lot of people who finished ahead of me. I was like 17 and a half hours to do that distance. And you started at 10 in the morning, and I finished at like 3:30 in the morning.
Wow.
Next morning.
Wow.
Just,
And people are thinking right now, people who are listening are like, well, what does this have to do with the Camino? Well, we're going to get to that. But let's talk about the motorcycle endurance rides. Could you just paint a picture for us of what that world is, Abhay?
Sure. I have been motorcycling since I was 18 years old, so that's quite a few years, over 50 years now. And
And by the way, you look amazing too, if I do the math. I mean, come on.
thank you.
These numbers don't add up, but I'm going to let y'all have it.
Yeah, we and I enjoy the challenge of it, and I enjoy the mechanical aspects of it. I'm an engineer by profession,
Okay.
and I enjoy the technology that goes into motorcycles, and I also enjoy sports cars and things like that. So, and I enjoy tinkering with them myself. So that's something that's been a hobby of mine for a long time, and I have now sort of, since I've retired, I've escalated it to I've done the ride over the Himalayas, the highest road in the world. Now, I did that last year.
I got chills. Oh, wow.
And yeah, it was at 19,024 feet altitude.
Oh, my word.
And then I also did a ride this year from all the way, starting from Michigan all the way to Utah and through the Canadian, sorry, not Canadian, the Rockies area, and then into Utah and to Moab, and came back, and so did that endurance kind of ride.
So let me just ask a question here about that. The endurance part of it, does that mean this isn't a road trip where you stop and you hang out and you have a beer, spend the night? Is this a nonstop ride? You just
No,
go
no,
and come
it's
back,
not
or
a
how does it work?
nonstop ride, but we do about 600 to 700 miles a day.
Wow.
I've also done what they call the Iron Butt ride, which is 1,000 miles in less than 24 hours.
Oh my gosh, I love that name.
Yeah, I know. So I've done that ride as well. But back to the two of us, I think that we have a lot of we have our own hobbies, and then we have hobbies that sort of we do together. And hiking or shorter distance running is sort of our common element that we do. That helps us bond and be together and do things together. So that's kind of where I'm at. And then I counted the other day, I'm on my 32nd motorcycle. I don't still own all of them. only own 3 right now, but
Wow.
I've had 32 in my life so far. So
Oh my gosh. It's just a really fun, it's really fun to get a glimpse into people's lives, and to see this doesn't have a lot to do with what we wouldn't think it had a lot to do with the Camino, but I think there's a thread that is weaving through here.
we love to be outdoors. We love to be in the nature. And frankly, I'm not, because I've come from India and I've been exposed to many, many different cultures and religions. I'm not wedded to a single religion. I think it's wonderful. Religions, as long as they're applied for a good use, for the good of humanity, they're all good. But I consider myself more spiritual, and I think that
Okay.
that's part of the journey together is kind of a spiritual journey to do the Camino because, like Lisa said, people have done it for over 1,000 years, and
Yeah.
there's something special about that draws people and draws. I mean, I don't think you have to be religious to do the Camino at all. You have to be just someone who wants to bond with nature and humanity.
I think you have to be human, I mean, and that's not to rule out people taking their dogs on the Camino, but it is a human journey
Hmm.
in which you connect with humanity, and it's hard to miss that.
Right.
Yeah, I think you said that really well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other, I mean, things that I bring up is, as in any relationships, I mean, we've been together for 8 years, over 8 years, and then we had our ups and downs, and we've had relationships before, and so it's that fear of having a long-term relationship. But I think
Mm.
that one of the things that, to me, what together doing this thing together is a bonding journey for us. I feel like it's something we cherish and do together, and it brings us closer together.
I love that. I love that. Any thoughts on that, Lisa?
Yeah, I mean, some of it is just from what I've always seen when doing like the endurance runs, the races, is that it is a journey, and a lot of times you will meet up with people along the way. I mean, I know it sounds silly, because you're not as familiar with it, but like if you're doing one of these races that go for over 8, 10, 12, multiple hours,
Yeah.
you meet different people, and they're going different paths or different speeds, different paces, and you tend to talk about things that you would never think to talk to somebody casually. So I think there's that similarity with what we'll
Yeah.
experience on the Camino. And so then for the two of us, and Abhay and I have done marathons together. We've done a 55K where we went up and over the Continental Divide, and it was
Wow.
scary at times. But when you do these things, you really see how you work together, and how one helps the other at different times. It's not one-sided.
Yeah.
So it is a very bonding and emotional thing when you reach your destination, so to speak.
Yeah. Yeah. And just knowing that you did it together, that every step was taken together or close together, right? So
Right.
you're doing the same stages every day, whether or not you're side by side every day or every hour or every minute will remain to be seen. But yeah, to reach Santiago and then look at each other and go, we just did that together.
I think it's going to be an emotional event when we reach
Uh-huh.
Santiago. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It is for many people. Yeah. So you used the word pilgrimage when you were talking about these long distance and endurance events. Would you say more about that? What are the elements that make up that pilgrimage for you?
Well, I found it really the race that I just did last weekend. The race director on Monday sent out a group of photos from the race, and she, in her caption on social media, she actually used the words about, here the photos of, it was so exciting. The people started in the darkness, and they went through the night, and, all along the way on their pilgrimage to Alpena, which is a small town in Michigan on the other coast. And I was like, my God, he just used the word.
They use the word. That's it.
Word.
Yeah.
Because you're all going kind of the same direction. You have this destination, and in many ways, the destination doesn't matter. There are some of these races where you're going on a 2-mile or a 3-mile circle around a field or something. You're not even really going anywhere. And yet that end point has a special meaning, because by the time you get there, you will have gone through the points of time when you wanted to know how you would react when it got tough. You wanted to see how you were going to react, what you were going to do when you did not want to go any further.
Yeah.
And, what decisions you were going to make, how you were going to problem solve. And that's really the journey part. You learn about yourself. You learn about the people that you're with. I'm also finishing out doing a marathon or longer in all 50 states here in the United States. And I'm at state 46,
Wow.
And the interesting with that is meeting the people in these different states that I might have not ever thought to go to, and talk to somebody in Louisiana or in North Dakota or whatever,
Yeah.
and hear why they're there.
Uh-huh. And you have a chance to have those conversations?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Because a lot of the times, like I said, even if you're doing the longer distances, you're not going fast. You're walking at times, jogging along at times. There are people who obviously win and go fast, but even them, a lot of those fast people will stop and walk at times or jog along with the slower people, because if they're passing them, it's this shared experience, so the Camino will be the opportunity to do this, but with people who are coming to it from so many different places and reasons. There's no medal. I mean, I guess there's a
certificate. Yeah.
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 But being the reasons, and what that really is part of the draw.
Yeah.
Why other people are there.
Yeah, to have those conversations and see, who are you walking with, who's walking alongside you. So it sounds like the physical part of it isn't going to be much of a challenge for you. Would you say that's true?
I mean, we never rule that out, because
Oh, yeah.
that's one of the things, is anything can happen.
Especially now, it's supposed to be kind of rainy and a little bit cold. So I think it may be a bit challenging. And well, I think one of the days is about an 18-mile day.
Okay.
So I think it's going to be a challenging day. And one of the days I was reading that there's quite a bit of uphill.
Yeah.
So no, I wouldn't say it would be just a walk in the park. I think it's going to be grueling some days, but we've been training sometimes with backpacks on, just walking in the neighborhoods and nearby parks to get acclimated to be able to walk long distances and still not hurt.
Yeah, not get injured.
Or injured, yes.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and that's a real sort of responsible way to go into it. You've got a baseline of fitness, but this is something different. Yeah, and the thing that nobody tells you is that the route from Sarria to Santiago is up and downhill the whole darn way. It's up, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, the whole way. None of the ascents or descents are long, but it's still up and down the whole way.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah. So you do need some level of fitness, and you're using your body differently, right? Running is different than walking in terms of how the body's positioned and the impact.
And walking with a little bit of, not much of a backpack, but some weight.
Yes.
only about 4 or 5 pounds, but
It changes it.
changes it,
It
right?
does change it. Did you ever consider running this instead of walking it?
Well,
Maybe for like a brief second, but that's just I mean, it was like you're missing the point. You're totally missing the point that
Yeah.
right.
Is that because it would be just too fast and then you wouldn't have a chance to talk with people? What ruled that out for you?
yeah, because I mean, we part of the experience, we love doing road trips rather than flying, is
Okay.
seeing the places along the way, seeing how the land changes. And granted, we won't be running that fast, but it's, I don't know, it doesn't feel like it's respecting even the heritage and the history of the Camino.
Okay.
It's not the correo, or I'm trying to think verb for run, right?
Yeah, it's something like, yeah, correos is the word for post office,
Yeah,
the
yeah, no.
postal service, but it's from the verb correr, I think, which is, yeah, to run, something very similar to that. Yeah. Yeah. And people walk it without stopping. I met a man in Santiago one year who had walked from Sarria to Santiago in a 24-hour period.
Oh,
I don't know how, but he did it. And
yeah.
for him, that was his expression of pilgrimage.
Mm.
Well, you could do it. I mean, because I went 100K in 17 and a half hours.
It can be done. He had long legs. He had very, very long legs. So he probably just went zoop, zipping along.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, they're centurions is
Yeah.
another thing out there who walk 100 milers in 24 hours.
That's amazing to me.
My expectation is to be able to take in the culture and to be able to meet the locals and at times stop and maybe just have a piece of cheese and maybe a glass of wine or a piece of bread or something,
Yeah.
a snack somewhere, and take our time and say hola and hasta luego and keep going.
Yes. And there will be plenty of people to talk to. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're going towards the end of October, which means things are starting to shut down. So some of the bars will be closed. I just walked through 2 weeks ago and there were some places that had already closed for the season, but there'll
Mm,
be plenty of services and plenty of opportunities to talk to people and meet people. And the
right.
scenery is just beautiful. Sarria to Santiago is all forest and farmlands. It's just
Oh,
beautiful.
great.
Yeah, just beautiful. Now, I'm curious, you're doing this together. If one of you had said, "Nah, not so much my thing," would the other one have still gone? Or is this definitely a couples thing for you?
I think to me it's a couples thing. I don't think either one of us would have said no, I don't think so. Knowing we've known each other long enough that we know that we're up for the challenge, and which sort of draws us towards each other is because we both know that endurance is something that we kind of thrive on. So I don't think any either one of us would have said, "Nah, I don't want to do this. I'd rather stay at home." Because I mean, for example, we hardly watch TV at home. We actually don't have network TV at home. We do not.
Love that. Yep.
It's just not our thing, you know. Yeah. Or we will, if we have nothing better to do, we'll go out for a walk in the woods.
Great.
And there are lots of nice parks around, you know. So,
Yeah.
or just walk around the neighborhood, worst case. But once in a while, of course, we're not against it. Will once in a while, it's all right. We'll watch an hour or so of TV and watch some show, but it isn't our thing. Not at all.
Okay. Lisa, how about you? Would you, if Abhay wasn't going to go, would you still go?
I don't think so. I don't know. I mean, it is something I've been interested in doing.
Yeah.
I don't mind and doing things on my own. And we do both do, he's gone on motorcycle trips on his own. I go on running weekends or, with friends or even just on my own because it's a state I need to check the box for. So we aren't afraid to do stuff on our own or hold each other back.
Yeah.
My schedule's tighter, obviously, because I'm working. When we do go and do things on our own, there's so often we're like, "Ah, I wish you would really appreciate this. Oh, I know you would, you would so much of that you feel like the other person would actually appreciate.
Yeah. Yeah. Very sweet.
Sound like we'd be talking the whole time because one of the things that is kind of neat about doing any of like the long distance or it's just anytime you do something for a long period of time together, you get okay with silence. Even,
Yeah.
if I run with friends and I'm doing one of these long races, there's times where you might go an hour and you're just quiet. You're very focused on what's around you, not falling, what you the next stop, your body scan, those kind of things. The same said with motorcycling too.
Yeah, you have to stay alert so that you don't get hurt, you don't, no accidents, nothing. But yeah, there is a zone that you can get into that sort of it's a zone of silence, but it's also sometimes a zone of heightened awareness.
I've called the trail running kind of an equivalent to a moving yoga practice.
There we go.
Very focused, and especially if you're running at night, then every world becomes just a little bubble
Yeah.
of light around you.
Interesting. One of the things, Lisa, you said when you emailed me that you were concerned that it might be a little challenging to slow down and really experience where you were. Would you talk a little bit about that challenge?
Well, I think both of us it's very almost like destination. We're getting to this destination. I wouldn't say we're not type A people or anything like that, but because of what we do, it's like that next destination and getting there, not really quickly, but as efficiently as possible tends to be what we keep in mind, right?
Yes, yes.
Not thinking in terms of, okay, we need to be there by a certain time. I mean, we've looked at things along the way, and I've used ChatGPT to come up with all kinds of little ideas of places along the way. I don't remember any of them. I don't even, we will just,
You'll see what you see.
we'll see what we see. I mean, we just discovered we have an extra day that we're
Yeah.
that we hadn't thought we had. So, it just experiencing things being more, I think, in the moment.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. We've just been off so often thinking in terms of needing to be somewhere by a certain time.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll bring headlamps so that when it's dark, that's fine.
Yeah. Well, and it gets lighter later there. So sunrise is after 8. And so, yeah. So if you want to get a normal time start, you might need a headlamp.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Anything to add to that, Abhay?
Well, one of the things I wanted to add is that both our hobbies, whether it's the motorcycling or the endurance running, is that you have to be willing to expect things that happen that are unplanned. Issues come up when you're motorcycling. Well, all of a sudden it starts raining. Now you gotta put on your rain gear or slow down a bit, or you have to adjust, or whether it's in the morning, it maybe start off as 40 degrees out and it's cold. And then by afternoon, it gets up to 85 degrees where you're going. So you have to adjust. I mean, when I did my trip to Alaska, one of the guys, there were two of us, and he went off the road and crashed. And so we had to adjust and I had to change plans. And similarly with her endurance running, you have to be willing to not not get upset about if things don't go exactly to plan. Well, then you adjust the plan and then you get over it and you figure out a way to still have fun and still enjoy it. But okay, so it didn't go exactly as you planned. So that's why we're not afraid of in October. Yeah, it's probably going to rain. Okay, so it rains. So we've got shoes that are waterproof and others that are not. So we're going to see what it's going to be like and adjust to it and have our raincoats with us.
Great.
If it's cold, we'll we'll layer and stay warm. So it isn't going to dampen our trip by any means, no matter what. And we'll be able to endure it. And that's the way we both are, is that we don't get upset if something changes. Some people are just completely upset and go livid if things don't go according to plan. To us, we're used to things not going according to plan.
Yeah, boy, that is such a great mindset to go into it with. And, the thing that trips up pilgrims the most probably is injuries, where they get tendonitis or plantar fasciitis or blisters that derail their plans. And what gets broken is that the heart gets broken because the expectations aren't met and the disappointment is so big. But that mindset is your ticket to paradise right there.
Well, I'll give you an example. When I went on my Himalayan ride, I came around the corner and I hit a cow
Oh,
with my motorcycle,
oh,
and I hurt my right leg quite severely. I The next day I tried to ride, but I could not because my leg was hurting so badly. Then the very last day I couldn't ride, so I was able to ride in the what we call the sag wagon or the sag truck and be able to finish. But stuff like that can happen. You
yeah,
never know. And
yeah.
you just have to say, you know what? I still had fun and I did most of the ride on the bike and nothing major happened. And,
You live to ride another day.
yeah, got a little bit hurt. Nobody died. We're good.
Awesome. Yeah. Yeah. That's really a great perspective to go into it with. Yeah, that'll really serve you.
There's one, I can't say that I came up with this phrase. It's another really accomplished woman in her 60s, ultra runner, has done many, over probably over almost 200 100-miler races. Had a quote one time that was, never take miracles off the table. You feel like things are going wrong. Now, granted, there are times when you hit a cow and your leg is
That happens. Yes.
right, real issues. But when it's a matter of, oh, it'll be a miracle if I can do this. It'll be a miracle if we can finish.
Yeah.
To remind yourself, never take the miracles off the table. And the caveat is to do the things that will allow the miracle to happen.
Very good.
In the running type races, that means you feel like horrible, you're walking really slowly, you don't think you can finish. Are you eating? Make sure you're taking in calories. Make sure if you've got a blister, a hot spot, you're taking care of it. Do the things that will allow that miracle, because very rarely do things get worse.
Yeah. Yeah, you do your part and set the stage. The other thing that I've seen is sometimes when things go sideways, when they don't go as planned, that actually opens the door to something even better.
Mm-hmm.
And you just don't know. Don't know till you get there.
For the biggest part, people do like these endurance, push yourself, not to, like in dangerous, extreme situations, but more of mentally pushing yourself. And, it's a little bit on the body, but because you want to see how you're going to react, gives you that opportunity to problem solve in a relatively safe environment. And so having the things kind of go wrong at the time, it's like,
Yeah, you take it in stride. I think you're going to have a great trip. Really great walk. Anything else you'd like to share about your trip?
we've just, of course, agonized. It's so funny because we do all these things, these trips like this, and agonizing over clothes and I mean, we've been learning, taking Spanish classes. Our teacher joked with us last night about, oh, you're not quite ready yet. But one of the other students who's in the class, he walked the Camino last year, and he asked us last night, he's like, what kind of hiking boots are you wearing? I knew when we kind of figured like he was trying to maybe catch something.
Uh-huh.
We're like, well, we're not wearing hiking boots. We're trail runners. So we're wearing trail running shoes. And he's like, that is spot on. He's like, people wear hiking boots that were getting blisters, having all kinds of problems, whereas a trail running shoe,
A little bit lighter.
well, yeah, it's cushion.
Yeah. Good. Very good.
One thing I wanted to add is that I want this to be a learning experience and then get better at it and be the first of many hikes that we can do together.
Great.
Be able to say, okay, what went right, what went wrong, and
Yeah.
then say, okay, how can we make the next one even better and get better at it?
Perfect.
So
I think it's going to be great. Very good. Are there any questions I can answer for you?
Well, we've kind of joked about like discovered we have an extra day. So we, we looked at our Madrid schedule with the hotel. We have it through one date. And in Sadia, we thought we were starting the next day, but we've discovered we have a day in between.
Okay. Is it the travel day from Madrid to Sarria, or is there an extra day?
it is an extra night, if you will, that I didn't account for. I mean, it's not a big issue. We can either stay in Madrid for an extra day, or we can go to Sarria a day earlier. Or one of the things we wanted to ask you is that, is there something in between, or is Sarria an interesting enough town that we should get there and then explore that for a day?
My opinion is that Sarria is a very serviceable town, but not necessarily a sweet town. So there aren't a lot of sites. There's a church, and then there's all the services that you could possibly need. There are grocery stores and shops and, clothing stores and bars and cafes and all of that, but it's not someplace you would go to go sightseeing per se. So you might run out of steam pretty quickly there. I don't know if it would be an option to take a taxi or a bus one stage back and walk into Sarria. So you could take a bus or a taxi to Samos and visit the monastery there and then walk from there. It's not very far, 10, 15 kilometers maybe off the cuff. If that would change your starting point from Sarria to Samos.
What was the place, Lisa, that you were talking about?
Segovia.
Yeah.
Segovia. Yeah, that's en route. So you could
Yeah.
make a stop and do some sightseeing. Segovia, Salamanca, Avila. There are a number of places that you could visit on the way.
Yeah, there's a castle there, I believe, that we were thinking of visiting and maybe spend a day there. And because you can take the train from Madrid to there and then stop there for the night and then take the train.
Perfect.
Sarria.
Yeah. Do you want an extra day of being a tourist traveler, or do you want an extra day of being a pilgrim?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So you got lots of choices. Yeah.
We could not stay in that other town,
You could visit it.
stay in Sadia, take the cab, whatever, and then
Yeah. You could certainly do that. Yeah. It's really what draws you, what interests you. Yeah. It's beautiful country. It's just you're in Galicia and it's just beautiful. Good. All right. Well, if you don't have any other questions, we'll go ahead and wrap up there. I really look forward to hearing how this goes. Yeah. Thanks so much for joining me on the podcast. Any final words?
thank you for all that you've done with sharing information, and especially I think the mental part. It's the why is our key. That's what gets somebody to a finish line, if you will.
Yes, that is such a good point. Yeah. Yeah. Very good.
I just wanted to say buen camino.
And to you as well. Yeah.
I'm
Buen
really
camino.
excited about it. I think it's as exciting as you want to make it. What's the big deal walking all day? But I think it's you can make it exciting. I think nature to me is a spiritual experience, being out there in the nature, and I can't wait.
Yeah. And you're going to find out what makes it special and what makes it unique for you.
I fully expect many times to be saying, I can't
You can't say it again.
believe we're here.
That gets said a lot on the Camino. Yeah. It's a pretty special place.
Right.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for your time and thanks for joining me. And I wish you a beautiful
Thank
journey.
you very much for having us.
Okay. Thank you.
Gracias.
Hasta luego.
Rocking the Spanish skills. All right, guys. Thanks.
Bye-bye.